Hello dear friends, I am Avdesh Pratap Patel and I welcome to all of you in another video on the history of Chhattisgarh. Today in this video we are going to talk about Sharabhpuri Dynasty. It is one of the most important dynasties that ruled over the ancient Chhattisgarh. Without any further delay, let's start the video. So as far as Sharabhpuri or Sharabhpuriya Dynasty is concerned, it was established by those people who once worked as Samantas under the Wakataka rulers. So this is a very important fact which we need to keep in our mind. So the Sharabhpuriya rulers worked as Samantas under Wakatkas. Now, here the question arises that what are Samantas? Well, you can compare Samantas with the nobles under Mughal Empire, and you can also compare them with the medieval knights in Europe. So those were very influential and rich people who used to maintain a small cavalry with themselves, and they used to help the king in the hour of need. So those were the Samantas or feudatory chiefs. So the Sharabhpuriya rulers, worked as Samantas under the Wakataka rulers. The Sharabhpuriya dynasty ruled for 11 decades in Chhattisgarh. That is a quite significant time. And Sharabh Raj, as the name suggests, was its founder. So Sharabhpuriya dynasty ruled for 11 decades and Sharabh Raj was its founder. So this is another important fact which we need to remember. Apart from that, if we talk about the empire, so the Sharabhpuriya dynasty ruled over an extensive empire. That empire included today's Raipur, Bilaspur and Raigad districts of Chhattisgarh and Kalahandi and Sambalpur districts of Odisha. So they ruled over an extensive empire including today's Raipur, Bilaspur, Raigad from Chhattisgarh and Sambalpur and Kalahandi of Odisha. So this is about their empire. Now let's talk about their religion. Well, the Sharabhpuriya rulers were hardcore staunch Vaishnavites. How do we know that? Because they assumed the title of Parambhagavata and they used the seal of Gajalakshmi. So it shows that they were staunch Vaishnavites. So Sharabhpuriya rulers were Vaishnavites as they assumed the title of Parambhagavata Parambhagavata and used Gajalakshmi as royal emblem. So this is all about religion. So Sharabpuri rulers were Vaishnavites as they assumed the title of Parambhagavata and used Gajalakshmi as the royal emblem. And actually, no consensus has been built regarding the era in which the Sharabpuriya rulers ruled, because they did not adopt any era, nor did they come up with their own era. They have just mentioned regnal years in their inscription. So this is a very important point, that there is no consensus among the historians regarding the ruling period of Sharabh dynasty or Sharabhpuriya dynasty as they did not adopt any era but have mentioned regnal years. Now, as we already have said that there is no consensus among the historians regarding the ruling period of Sharabh dynasty or Sharabhpuriya dynasty, and the main reason of it is that they did not adopt any era like Gupta era, Shaka era, any era. So they did not adopt any era, nor did they use any era of their own. Okay, so this creates a lot of confusion. So intelligent conjectures have been made regarding their ruling period, and they have mentioned only regnal years in their copper plates and their coins. Now here comes a question: what is a regnal year? So regnal year is counted from the coronation of a king. For example, if a king has been coronated 3 years ago, so today it would be his third regnal year. So regnal year is translated as a Rajkiya Varsh, and it shows that for how long the king has ruled. So regnal year is Rajkiya Varsh. So this is all about the Sharabhpuriya dynasty. It's a general information, it's an introduction. So this is all about the general introduction of the Sharabhpuriya dynasty. If you want, you can have a screenshot of this screen. Now, we are going to talk about important rulers of Sharabhpuriya dynasty. So let's start. Okay. So as far as important rulers are concerned, let's start with the very first, Sharabh Raj. Sharabh Raj. As I already have told you that important and intelligent conjectures have been made regarding the ruling period, okay, because there is no proper evidence. So according to those conjectures, the Sharabh Raj is estimated to have ruled between 342 to 352 AD. Now let's talk about the important event which took under his reign. The first very important fact regarding Sharabh Raj is that he is known as the founder of Sharabhpuriya dynasty and Sharabhpur itself. So he is considered as the founder of the Sharabhpuriya dynasty and Sharabhpur. Another very important fact regarding Sharabh Raj is that he was working as a Samanta under a very famous Wakataka king, Pravarsen the First. So let's write it down. He worked as a Samanta under Wakataka king Pravarsen the First. Now, when Pravarsen the First died and the central Wakataka leadership weakened, the empire was partitioned. So, taking advantage of this situation, Sharabh Raj carved a separate kingdom for himself in the south coastal region, which is today known as Chhattisgarh. So, this is another important fact that how Sharabh Raj founded the Sharabh dynasty. After the death of Pravarsen the First, Sharabh Raj founded Sharabh dynasty in Chhattisgarh. Now, after foundation of the Sharabh dynasty, Sharabh Raj issued his own coins, and in his coins, he wrote his names. So the coins bearing his names were issued, but there was a very important change. He used Sanskrit instead of Pali. So the Sharabh Raj issued coins bearing his name, but he used Sanskrit instead of Pali. So this is another very important fact. Actually, earlier the Wakatkas used to issue their coins with the Pali language inscribed on the coins and copper plates. But Sharabh Raj, okay, broke away with that practice, and this time when he issued the coins bearing his names, he used Sanskrit rather than Pali. So this is another very important fact. There is another very significant achievement achieved by Sharabh Raj, that he has been mentioned in Aaron inscription of Bhanugupt, the famous Gupta ruler. So another feather in the cap of Sharabh Raj is that he has been mentioned in Aaron inscription of Bhanigupta. And he was blessed with two sons. One's name was Mahendra and the younger one was Narendra. So Sharabh Raj was blessed with two sons, Mahendra and Narendra. Sharabh Raj had two sons, Mahendra and Narendra. So this is all about Sharabh Raj. The first thing we saw about Sharabh Raj is that he is the founder of Sharabhpuriya Dynasty and Sharabhpur. He designated Sharabhpur as his capital. He worked once as a Samanta under the Wakataka king Pravarsen I. When Pravarsen I died and Wakataka empire was partitioned, the central authority weakened, he carved out a separate kingdom for himself in Chhattisgarh. He issued coins bearing his names, but instead of Pali, he used Sanskrit for the first time. This was a significant change. And he has been mentioned in Aaron inscription of the great Gupta ruler Bhanugupta. That is his another achievement, a new feather in his cap. And Sharabh Raj had two sons, Mahendra and Narendra. He was succeeded by Mahendra because of the law of primogeniture. So it is the speciality of all the Hindu dynasties that they strictly followed the law of primogeniture. Now, what is the law of primogeniture? Okay, so let's talk about the law of primogeniture here. Okay, so primogeniture, it was a law of inheritance. Well, Primogeniture was a law which says or states that the eldest son would be the king until and unless he is suffering from any incapacity. So he would be designated as the king. So this law has prevented internecine struggles for succession and has ensured that there would be a smooth succession from one generation to another. So all the Hindu dynasties followed this rule very strictly. But let's talk about Mughal dynasty. In Mughal dynasty, there was absence of such any law for succession. As a result, after every generation, there used to be a bloodshed for the throne. So that was the biggest flaw of Mughal dynasty, and it was the best feature of all the Hindu dynasties that they strictly followed the law of primogeniture. It ensured a smooth transition of power from one generation to another. So, what is primogeniture? Okay, it is the law of succession. Okay, which states that the eldest son would be the king unless he is suffering from any incapacity. So this is the law of primogeniture. So according to this law of primogeniture, Mahendra, the eldest son of Sharabh Raj, was made the king after his death. So now let's talk about Mahendra. So the next Sharabhpuri ruler was Mahendra, and he has been guessed to have ruled between 360 to 390 AD. Let's talk about the important events during his tenure. The first important fact regarding Mahendra is that he was the elder son of Sharabh Raj. So let's write it down. Mahendra was the elder son of Sharabh Raj. Now there is another detail regarding Mahendra. That detail is quite confusing. Okay, according to Ram Kumar Behar in his book of Granth Academy, the history of Chhattisgarh ka Itihas, he has mentioned that Mahendra was the king who confronted Samudragupta during his south conquest. But we already have seen that there was another Wakataka ruler with the same name, Mahendra Sen, who fought with Samudragupta and lost. So it may have been the case that either the Wakataka king Mahendra Sen and Sharabhpuri king Mahendra both might have fought with Samudragupta and must have lost. So it is one possibility. So let's write it down here that he is credited to have confronted the great Gupta ruler Samudragupta during his south conquest. Now, the next important detail regarding Mahendra is that he was childless, and because of him being childless, he was succeeded by his younger brother Narendra. So let's write it down. So he was childless, hence was succeeded by his younger brother Narendra. So that's all about Mahendra. We have very limited information regarding him. So the first very important information regarding Mahendra is that he was the elder son of Sharabh Raj, and he is the person who is credited with the confrontation with the great Gupta ruler Samudragupta when he was on his south conquest, and he was childless, and because of him being childless, he was succeeded by his younger brother Narendra. So that's all about Mahendra. Now let's talk about the next Sharabhpuri ruler, that was Narendra. Okay, so let's talk about Narendra now. Okay, Narendra. He is guessed to have ruled from 390 to 420 AD. His rule was quite an eventful uh, period actually. So during his ruling period, very important thing happened. So let's talk about them one by one. The first very important information regarding Narendra is that he was the younger son of Sharabh Raj. Now, what is the evidence that shows him to be the son of Sharabh Raj? Well, it's the Piprudula copper plate, which was issued during the third regnal year of his rule. So, according to the Piprudula copper plate, he was the son of Sharabh Raj. So, according to Piprudula copper plate, he was the son of Sharabh Raj, and this copper plate, this copper plate was issued in his third regnal year. Third regnal year. So, as far as Narendra is concerned, he was the younger son of Sharabh Raj, and it is the Piprudula copper plate which corroborates this fact that he was the son of Sharabh Raj, this copper plate was issued during his third regnal year. Now, there are more important things regarding Narendra. Okay, and one of those is he has been addressed as खड्ग धरा जित भुवे. He has been addressed as Khadgadhara Jit Bhuve and Ripu Shashan. Ripu Shashan in his copper plates. Now, what are the meanings of these two words? As far as Narendra is concerned, he has been given the exalted titles of Khadgadhara Jit Bhuve and Ripu Shashan in his copper plates. So, what are the meanings of these two words? So, Khadgadhara Jit Bhuve. Khadga means sword, Dhara means wielding, Jit means to win, and Bhuve means the world. It means the one who conquers the whole world by the edge of a sword. And Ripu Shashan. Ripu means Shatru or enemy. Shashan means someone who rules over them. So Ripu Shashan means a person who rules over his enemies, who keeps his enemies under check. So he has been given exalted title of Khadgadhara Jit Bhuve and Ripu Shashan in his copper plates. So this is a very important fact, and it shows that he must have been one of the fearsome warriors. Now, let's talk about the next fact regarding Narendra. Okay, he was a staunch Vaishnavite. Well, how do we know this? We know this because he assumed the title of Param Bhagwata and used Gajabhishikta Lakshmi as royal emblem. So see, he was a staunch Vaishnavite. How do we know about that? Because he assumed the title of Param Bhagwata as his ancestors, and he used Gajalakshmi as his royal emblem and royal seal. So these informations corroborate the fact that he was a staunch Vaishnavite. Okay, what else was the important achievement of Narendra? Okay, let's talk about them. Earlier, Narendra was compelled, or I think every Sharabhpuri ruler was compelled to use a title, and the title was Param Bhattarak Padanudhyata. Now, Bhattarak is a word which is related with court. So, if someone was called a Bhattarak, it means he was the part of royal court. So, Param Bhattarak, that means one of the sincerest courtier, and Padanudhyata. Okay, so it has been made of two words, Pada and Anudhyata. Pada means feet, Anudhyata means one who sits with at the feet. Okay, so Param Bhattarak Padanudhyata means a courtier, a person who sits on the feet of the emperor. It means that they were considered as the sincerest or one of the most sincerest courtiers. So it shows the suzerainty under Wakatkas. So initially, he used the title of Parambhattarak, Padanudhyata. Okay, it means the courtier who sits at the feet of the emperor. Okay, it shows the suzerainty under Vakatkas. It shows that uh, Narendra was not a sovereign king or independent king. Okay, okay, but later on he dropped this title and started ruling as an independent ruler. And this information we have recovered from Kurud inscription. This Kurud inscription was issued in his 24th regnal year. According to Kurud inscription, issued in his 24th regnal year. So this is a very important information, that he broke away with the suzerainty under Wakatkas and he wanted to rule as an independent ruler. So actually the Sharabhpuri rulers were quite intelligent. They did not adopt the Gupta era, okay, and they did not initiate their own era. It means they adopted quite a balanced approach. They did not want to attract Gupta hostility, that's why they did not initiate their own era, but at the same time they also did not want to accept suzerainty of any other dynasty. But at that time Gupta dynasty was quite a powerful dynasty to take on from the military point of view. So they avoided struggle with the Guptas, and in this way they avoided struggle with Vakatkas. So they adopted quite a balanced approach. Once Narendra dropped the Gupta suzerainty or the Wakatka suzerainty by dropping Parambhattarak Padanudhyata title, okay, he was adorned with Maharaja in his further copper plates. So he was adorned with the title of Maharaja in his further copper plates. So that's all regarding Narendra. So let's revise Narendra quickly. So he was the younger son of Sharabh Raj, and according to Piprudula inscription issued in his third regnal year, we have acquired this information. Okay, he has been addressed as Khadgadhara Jidbhuve and Ripushashin. Okay, in his copper plates. So Khadgadhara Jidbhuve. Here Khadga means talwar or sword. Jit means to win, and Bhuve means the world. So a person who conquers the world with the edge of a sword, he is known as Khadgadhara Jidbhuve. Ripu Shashin, one who rules over his enemies or keeps his enemies under check, he is known as Ripu Shashin. So he has been given these exalted titles in his copper plates. It means he was one of the fearsome warriors of his time. Okay, he was a staunch Vaishnavite. How do we know about it? We know that he was a staunch Vaishnavite because he assumed the title of Param Bhagavata, and he used Gaj Lakshmi as his royal emblem. And earlier, all the Sharabhpuri rulers were compelled to write uh, Param Bhattarak Padanudihata on their inscriptions. It shows their uh, subordination to Wakatkas and Guptas. But this person dropped this title and started ruling independently, and he started using the title of Maharaja for himself. The title of Maharaja shows that he was an independent ruler. So this is all about Narendra. Now let's talk about the next important Sharabhpuri ruler. Okay, so the next important Sharabhpuri ruler is Prasannamatra. Prasannamatra. He is guessed to have ruled between 460 to 480 AD. Now let's talk about the important events of his dynasty, of under his rule in that time period. So let's talk about the important events under his reign. Okay, so the first most important fact is that Prasannamatra was considered as one of the most powerful Sharabpuri rulers. Okay, so he was the most powerful Sharabpuri or Sharabpuriya ruler. Now, what is the reason that we call him the most powerful? Actually, he had issued the largest number of gold coins ever issued by any Sharabpuriya rulers. Apart from that, he also established Prasannapur, which is today known as Malhar, nearby Nidala River, which is today known as Lilagar River. So, because of his constructional works and abundance of gold coin issued by him, he is known as one of the most powerful or the strongest Sharabpuri rulers. So as far as information regarding Prasannamatra is concerned, okay, it is mainly recovered from, or it has been mainly recovered from the inscription of his son Jairaj and the grandson Sudev Raj, and 116 and odd gold coins issued by him, which have been recovered now, also talks galore about him. So he is mainly known from the inscriptions of his son Jairaj and grandson Sharabh Raj. And also by 116 odd gold coins issued by him. When I say 116 odd gold coins, okay, here I'm using a phrase odd. Okay, so 116 odd gold coins means, okay, the gold coins are somewhat more in numbers than 116. Okay, so he was the most powerful Sharabhpuri king, and he is known as one of the most powerful and strongest Sharabhpuri kings because he has established Malhar by the name of Prasannapur, and he had issued the most number of gold coins. That is, he is known as the strongest one. Okay, now another information associated with the gold coins issued by him was that, okay, all the gold coins or the coins issued by him bore Garuda, Shankha, and chakra emblems. So whatever coins were issued by Prasannamatra, all of them bore Garuna, Shankha, and Chakra emblems. Again, these emblems show him to be a Vaishnavite. So he was again Vaishnavite like his ancestors. Actually, all the ruling dynasties in the North India at that time were Vaishnavites. Let's talk about Guptas, they were Vaishnavites. Okay, their subordinates, Wakatkas, were Vaishnavites. And the subordinate Wakatkas, Sharabhpuriya, were also Vaishnavite. So actually, in that era, during the first 3 centuries, 3 centuries AD actually, all the North Indian dynasties were Vaishnavites. Okay. Now, as far as the regions from where his coins have been recovered, okay, there are 3 regions from most of his coins have been recovered. Okay, these are the Kalahandi district of Odisha, Chanda district of Maharashtra, and Chhattisgarh region. These are the 3 regions from where the most of the coins of Prasannamatra have been recovered. So most of his coins have been recovered from Kalahandi region or Kalahandi district today of Odisha, Chanda district of Maharashtra, and Chhattisgarh region. Well, the most important feather in his cap was the establishment of Prasannapur, which is today known as Malhar. So the very important information regarding Prasannamatra is that he established a town, okay, he established a town with the name Prasannapur. Prasannapur, which is today known as Malhar in Bilaspur district. Nearby, Nidila River, which is today known as Leelagar River. So these are the most important informations regarding Prasannamatra. So Prasannamatra was the most powerful Sharabhpuri ruler. He is mainly known from the inscriptions of his son Jairaj and grandson Sudevraj, okay, and 116 odd gold coins issued by him. His all the coins bore Garuda Shankha and Chakra emblem, which show him to be a staunch Vaishnavite. Okay, most of his coins have been recovered from Kalahandi district, Odisha, Chandar district of Maharashtra, and Chhattisgarh region. He established Prasannapur town, which is today known as Malhar, and it was established on the bank of Nidala River, which is today known as Leelagar River. He had two sons. Okay. He had two sons, Jairaj and Durgaraj Manmatra. So that's all about Prasannamatra. So this is the fourth important Sharabhpuri king about whom we have studied today. So in this video, that's all. Let's have a quick recap and we will talk about other important rulers in the next video in part 2 of this dynasty. Okay, so let's talk about them one by one. Let's have a recap from the start. Okay, so see, as far as Sharabhpuriya dynasty is concerned, they worked as Samantas under the Wakataka rulers. Sharabhpuriya dynasty ruled for 11 decades, 11 long decades in Chhattisgarh. Okay, and the founder of this dynasty was Sharabh Raj. Okay, and they ruled over an extensive empire which included today's Raipur, Bilaspur, Raigad of Chhattisgarh, and Kalahandi and Sambalpur districts of Odisha. Okay, they were staunch Vaishnavites as they adopted the title of Param Bhagavata and used Gaj Lakshmi as a royal symbol, royal emblem, and there is no consensus regarding the exact time period of their ruling, as they did not adopt any era nor did they start any era of their own. So it was a balanced approach for avoiding the conflicts and at the same time exerting their own independence. So this is a brief introduction regarding the Sharabhpuriya dynasty. And if you talk about the important rulers, so the first one is Sharabh Raj. He is guessed. Okay, that means conjectures have been made regarding his ruling period, and it has been guessed as if he has ruled from 342 to 352 AD. Okay, he is considered as the founder of Sharabhpuriya dynasty and Sharabhpur. Okay, he worked as a Samanta under the Wakataka king Pravarsen I. When Pravarsen I died and the central authority of Wakataka Empire weakened, when Wakataka Empire was partitioned, okay, by taking advantage of this situation, he carved out a separate kingdom for himself in Chhattisgarh, at that time in South Coastal region. Okay, after establishing his own kingdom, he issued coins, and in these coins, he made a significant change, and he used Sanskrit for the first time instead of Pali. And he had two sons, Mahendra and Narendra. After Sharabh Raj, Mahendra was enthroned according to the law of primogeniture, which says that the eldest son should be the king until and unless he is suffering from any incapacity. So Mahendra was not suffering from any incapacity, so he was installed on the throne as a king. So let's talk about Mahendra now. So very limited information regarding Mahendra has been recovered, is provided yet. So Mahendra, he is guessed to have ruled from 360 to 390 AD. He was the elder son of Sharabh Raj. According to Ram Kumar Bihar and the book written by him, he is credited with the confrontation with Samudragupta. It was a very significant thing because Samudragupta was a very powerful and unstoppable king. So according to Ram Kumar Bihar, Dr. Ram Kumar Bihar, this Mahendra confronted Samudragupta when he was on his south conquest. Now there are two Mahendras. One is Mahendra Sen from the Wakataka. He is also said to have confronted Samudragupta during his south conquest. And this is another Mahendra from the Sharabhpuriya Dynasty who is said to have confronted Samudragupta during his south conquest. So it may have happened that both of these people, okay, have confronted him during his south conquest. Now he was childless, and this because of him being childless, his younger brother Narendra was given the throne. Now let's talk about Narendra. So Narendra was a very important ruler. His event was quite eventful. He is guessed to have ruled from 390 to 420 AD. He was the younger son of Sharabh Raj, and this information has been recovered from the Pipridula copper plate, which had been issued in his third regnal year. Okay, he has been addressed as Khadgadhara Jit Bhuve, means one who conquers the world by the edge of a sword, and Ripushashin means someone who keeps his enemies under control, who rules over his enemies. Okay, he was a staunch Vaishnavite as he assumed the title of Param Bhagavata, and he used Gajabhishikta Lakshmi. When I say Gajabhishikta Lakshmi, I'm talking about the portrait of goddess Lakshmi where two elephants are pouring water on her. So he used that very emblem as the royal emblem. So both of these facts corroborate that he was a staunch Vaishnavite. Okay, initially he was compelled to use the title of Param Bhattarak Padanudhyata, which means a very sincere courtier who sit at the feet of the monarch. Okay, but later on he dropped this title and started ruling independently. He made this change in his 24th regnal year, as is said by Guru inscription, and he was adorned with the title of Maharaja. Maharaja was a title which was given to independent kings. So it shows that Narendra started ruling independently after his 24th regnal year. Okay, and Narendra was succeeded by other Sharabhpuri kings, but the next important king in the line is Prasannamatra, who is guessed to have ruled from 460 AD to 480 AD. Now he was the most powerful Sharabhpuri ruler. Okay, he is mainly known from the inscription of his son Jai Raj and his grandson Sudev Raj, and 116 odd gold coins issued by him. Okay, and his coins bore the emblems of Garuda Shankha and Chakra. Okay, so these emblems show him to be a staunch Vaishnavite like his ancestors. Okay, and these coins, most of them have been recovered from Kalahandi district of Odisha, okay, Chandar district of Maharashtra, and Chhattisgarh region. He is considered as the most important Sharabhpuri ruler because of two facts. The first being his coins, and the second that he established Prasannapur, which is today known as Malhar, nearby the Liragar river, which was then known by Nidala river. And he had two sons, Jayaraj and Durgaraj Manmatra, and he was succeeded by Jayaraj, again following the rule of primogeniture. So that's all about the Sharabhpuri dynasty in this video. We will be covering other rulers of this dynasty in our next video. So stay tuned. Thank you. Do subscribe the channel.